What's going on YouTube? Josh here checking in, and I included a lot of training footage in this video. That way I'd have an opportunity to talk about my plans going forward as far as my training. So before anybody comments, I'm not wearing a shirt because it's 85 degrees and humid in South Florida. So yeah, sorry for all you guys up north stuck in the snow, but this is how I train because there is no air conditioning in my gym, and I really don't care. So, moving on, basically I've decided to change up the way that I organize my training going forward. Basically for the past 2 years or so, I have been training full body 3 days a week. So Monday and Friday I would squat and bench, and Wednesday I would bench and deadlift. Basically, what I found when doing my own programming using that kind of similar template of full body 3 days a week is that it was really very challenging to complete a workout in a reasonable amount of time that included everything I wanted to get to. Obviously the main lifts, but also the accessory movements, ab work, mobility. And the mobility was also particularly rough because I really don't like to slack on the mobility work, just because I've seen when I used to not do any mobility work how much I've progressed since incorporating that into my routine and that part of my warm-up. So for instance, if I were to do a squat day, if I would do squat and bench, I would have to do mobility work for lower body, and I would also have to do mobility for upper body. So it was just very time consuming, and basically what ended up happening is more often than not I was just unable to complete everything that I had scheduled simply due to time. I mean, powerlifting is not my profession. I go to school, I have work to do, I've got lots of other stuff going on, so I can't afford really to be in the gym for 3 hours at a clip, not to mention the fact that that's quite far from ideal. By the end of a workout, you're just shot, and you really can't bring 100% to those lifts that are at the end of the workout. So basically for my next training cycle, I'm going to give a shot with doing an upper-lower split. So basically at the beginning of the week, I'll do an upper body and then a lower body. I'll have 1 day of rest, and then I will do another upper body and then a lower body. So basically what's going to happen is my total frequency on my bench press will go down by one workout. It will stay the same for squat, and it will increase by one per day, one training session per week for my deadlift, since I will be training my squat and my deadlift on the same lower body session. So basically with the goal in mind of basically being able to give every lift as much attention as possible and really allow me to work on my weak points, which is really how I program my accessory, and really how I'd recommend anybody programming their accessory work for the main lifts would be really to assist with wherever you're weakest. So switching gears a bit, I'm going to actually talk about what's going on in the video as opposed to just rambling on about my training. So you'll see here I'm doing some glute ham raise, and you'll notice that there is a small mini band behind me. And the reason I'm using that is because to maintain proper form on the glute ham raise, it's extremely difficult unless you've practiced doing this a bit, and I have not consistently done the glute ham raise. And not to mention that my hamstrings were pretty fried from doing those pause deadlifts prior. So basically with the GHR, you're really trying to keep a straight line from your knees all the way through your shoulders. And you see I actually have a little bit of a bend in my back. My glutes could have been a little bit tighter. So anyway, after that I went on to some ab work off the GHR. That's another thing that I really looking forward to doing a better job of. Basically, on my previous training cycle, a lot of times I would try and get it in, and I would definitely get it at least once or twice a week, direct ab work. But I'm hoping that now that I'll be doing an upper-lower split, I'll have a bit more time to spend focusing on my core strength directly, as opposed to just doing beltless work. So after that, I moved on to some banded woodchoppers. Normally, if I had a cable machine, I would just be doing cable woodchoppers, but the band does just a fine job. And as far as oblique work, I generally like to do something that involves rotation, such as the woodchoppers, as opposed to something like side bends, just because I think that you get enough flexion movements when you target your rectus abdominis. So really there's no need to be doing flexion if you're really trying to target the obliques, since their primary function is really to help stabilize the core in rotation and prevent counter rotation, which is what we're doing basically right here. So that's the workout, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. And if you haven't already, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time.